A long time ago, in a galaxy far, far away, luminous beings strove to gain some measure of control over the crude matter that pulled them hither, thither, and yon through a cold and uncaring future. Hi everyone, my name's Philip, and I'm the living force in this game called Luminous Beings. One of two connected and concurrent games here on the Long Lost Lord Twitch. Luminous Beings and Crude Matter. 4 bodies, 8 players, no waiting, except for all of the waiting that is inherent in an RPG. How's everyone doing tonight?
Super. Totally super.
Good.
I'm great. That's so good.
Fantastic.
We are down one of our luminous beings, unfortunately, but we will hopefully soldier on with who we have. I also see in chat, hello, Galanorian Saber. Yeah, you're damn right. That's another line they're saying. Yeah. That stuff's cool. Peter Serafinowicz saying all that. Yeah, into it. He's doing the voice. You guys see the Twitch chat? Don't worry if you don't. I just put a couple of Darth Maul lines from Phantom Menace in. Then
yes.
Galanorian Saber came back with another one.
And that was all of the lines.
I believe that literally is all the lines. I think, does he have one more? He might not have one more. That might be all the dialogue he gets.
He has a few growls.
He doesn't... He's such a cool villain, he doesn't need to say anything more than that. When he just... obvious statements. When he shows up, the stuff with him, on Tatooine is rad, and, the sandstorm sort of fight as they're taking off is, really fun, cool. But, when he shows up on Naboo, everything with him on, the whole fight on Naboo is so good.
Yeah.
It's
the one thing that is worth watching episode 1 for.
And the pod race. And the general nostalgia of it.
And Jar Jar.
Jar Jar's so funny. Jar Jar's so funny, you guys. And he's secretly the evilest.
Never misses a beat.
First saw it, I loved Jar Jar. He was very funny.
I have I don't know. I'm actually owning something that at the time people mocked me for hard, which is I genuinely loved episode 1 when it came out. I was in 8th grade. Most of my friends did not agree. But I was...
I was 6. I loved it.
Yeah, you were the target age. I liked all of that in theaters. I loved... Also, my favorite of the prequels, controversial statement, is Attack of the Clones.
Wow.
Love it. I think there's so much just everything Obi-Wan Kenobi does in that movie is so good. Him just going to Kamino and just they're like, we were beginning to think you weren't coming. He's like, yup, that's why I'm here. Okay. It's so good. Jango Fett's so cool. The fights at the end are so good. Whatever. Enough about what's so good from the prequels. Let's talk about what's so good in these games we're playing here. But before we do that, gonna have to do a little bit of the sweet, sweet invocation. I believe the last invocation I read, which would have not been to this group, but I believe the last invocation I did was kind of actually a pretty long one. It was by Bratadanlos. This one is a bit shorter. I appreciate this as an adage by those rascally sages of Duarte. Those sages, they had a lot of funny ideas.
They sure did.
The difference between cynicism and optimism is honesty. Jan John Zelmar, sage of Duarte. So, when last we left this group, big ticket items were going down. You had encountered Kyra for the first time, who has been sharing a body with Lyala. You basically, kind of after some Razum hijinks and an attack by a freaking knife monster, you all made your way to the Valley of the Sorcerers, where you were taken to one Zinni, the old woman in the mountain, who has no meaning outside of this particular game to anyone on the stream. Zinni, realizing what was happening, expressed to you a new perspective, a certain point of view that you'd yet to hear, which is that this teacher whom you met, who sent you to this place, whom the Sith set you on a path to find for them, was villainous. And the only person who could help you, the person who you, in fact, needed to help, was Lord Rythe, who had brought you to this place, who had sort of been there from the beginning in these sort of strange circumstances. Zinni then felt darkness having sort of found her. She emerged from the mountain. Something was leading to her, to all of you, deciding that your mission was more important than defending the valley. As the cries of battle were heard in the distance, she opened a portal back to your galaxy at the cost of her life, and she became one with the Force. A term none of you are probably familiar with, but you saw her kind of disappear, her clothing drop, including an archaic lightsaber, which I guess we should also mention, throughout this, Lyala was in her own, was in this weird new projection body of a chiss, and it was like, ooh, cool, who doesn't want that? Boz, you beat Kyra to the punch in scooping up yon lightsaber. Ooh, saber. And then you rushed through this portal along with Kyra. I believe you guys had to... a thing we didn't actually mention, but was funny to me when I was writing the recap, is Izdark was pulling a roughly, 2.5 foot wide knife head behind him this whole time. He was dragging this, metal knife head with him. You went through. Lauke and Lyala sort of paused for a moment. Lyala just say, we gotta go no matter what. You all rushed through to find that you were back in that chamber that you had only sort of seen from having entered it and gone down, and then heard a voice behind and walked up and seen that teacher. And then the other side did all the talking about that nonsense. But you were there. But there was only 4 of you. Lauke, you asked Lyala. And Kyra, basically what you saw that the Twi'lek do was say no, yes, as you suddenly realized, 2 bodies, or 2 souls in 1 body, at which point Amber filled your eyes. Which is where we lead ourselves now. As you feel tremendous rushing pressure and shaking against the restraints holding you into the escape pod you are currently in. An escape pod that is rushing frantically towards the Blessed Constellation. Right towards an empty spot on the bottom that you blasted an escape pod out of. That's the interesting news. The fun news. Here's where the fun begins. Lauke, you are locked, pun intended, in restraints. You are actually, you're sort of drinking from one of those Rancor horns that you've seemingly been passing around. But it's like, you finished it, you're probably, in the midst of getting some dregs out. You see Kyra's body over there. You see Izdark's body slumped unconscious. And Boz Craming, you are at the controls of this escape pod.
Oh, that's not good.
Needing to bring it in for a safe landing.
Can I jump out and help?
Lauke, help here.
So you guys there's G's are pushing forward here. This is he's your good friend Doom Toronto retrofitted this, and he rolled a 1 on his mechanical roll, such that I allowed him to, just for this, he was able to, with both fury and speed, pilot this like a land speeder in one of his, he's doing it all as a drift. So basically, he's got this sort of system rigged up. So Lauke, you see this. If you want to undo your restraints and try to push yourself up, get to Boz and sort of do this, you're going to need to make some rolls in order to do that, because like impact is in about like 10 seconds. Boz, if you're going to try to fly it yourself, you may do that. But Lauke, are you making the call? What are you doing?
I'll try to help.
Okay, so Boz, as you're like holding the controls, Lauke, my dear, my poor boy.
Do I realize they've switched, or?
All you realize is that your head just got very quiet compared to what it had been for the last several hours. But you suddenly see disorientation, and you do feel this thing that has been expertly sped suddenly just kind of start listing slightly. Lauke, if you're going to, oh boy, you're not great at this. There is one stat because of what you're trying to do, and you actually need a hard success because of the G's. I need you to make a jump roll.
A jump roll?
Yeah, you're literally jumping out of your seat to try to grab the controls and come in for a weird landing.
Not like some acrobatics here?
Can I like catch him to help him out? I want to like take him, pull him into the seat with my weight so that I fall out of the seat as he comes into it.
Okay, very good, very good. I'll tell you what, Lauke. You know what? This actually would help you. I'm going to say acrobatics because it's a harder thing to do, would be extreme, but that makes it a 10 out of 5 you're shooting for. So yeah. Yes, you can go for an extreme acrobatics if you want to spend any force dice. You have, and everybody make sure you've reset your force dice to their starting values. I know sometimes I don't remind people to do that. If you want to spend any of those, you can to sort of jump out and try to guide this thing in, just despite Boz's whatever. Boz, you are going to try to help him. Why don't you also make an acrobatics roll? Why don't you do that first?
All right.
Oh boy.
Oh, good. Can I do something besides acrobatics?
That feels more acrobatics-y to me. I mean, make a pitch for something else.
I want to lift him into the seat. If he's jumping at me, I want to.
You want to
pull
lift
against the pole against.
You want to be okay.
G's.
Sure, I'll say that's a lifting thing. I will say this though. You then pulling, like undoing your. Are you undoing your stuff? So you just try to like pull him as he jumps to try to guide him in. You may make a pull roll. You may make a lift roll. You may have some trouble on if there's an impact. You're going to have some penalties because of your recklessness of doing that. But yes, go ahead.
Right, yeah, that's fine.
And make a lift roll, Boz, because this will impact him.
Okay.
Oh God! Please roll a. It'd be so fucking funny if you roll a fumble, because that'll give him penalties on this thing that's already impossible.
All right, that's good. Let's see. That is a hard success.
A hard success. All right, so with that, you are going to get a bonus on the roll, Lauke. So as you sort of jump, you sort of look back and see him moving, and you're like, ah! And you let go of the controls, and you just kind of like undo, and you sort of grab his body as he's jumping. So Lauke, go ahead and make your jump roll. You have one bonus from that. Any bonuses you're gaining from if you're spending any more. And you're trying for a 10, sir.
Yeah, can I use like a force point to buy down the...
That is 2 force points to do that, but you absolutely may as well.
That is 2?
It costs 2 to change the size.
To make it a D8 instead of a 10?
To make it a D8, correct.
And then the 8 counts as a 0?
And then you want the 8. Unless it's a 0 on the other one, and then we won't make you get a fumble. But if you roll 2 8s and it's a 0, then you have a fumble, and it's funny.
All right. We got an 8. We got a 0. We get a bonus.
Yeah. So you roll 2 8s, and here's hoping.
And I rolled 3 7s on all die. So I'm gonna spend one more force point to redo this.
I think that's a good idea. Since it's acrobatics, that does not count as a fumble because of the thing. So spend your force point. You get the full reroll on that. Oh boy.
There it is.
An
I
8?
got a 6.
A 6.
I rolled an 8 on
And
one of the d8s and a 7 on the other, and then a 6.
Beautiful. Wow, you were getting a lot of 7s. So basically, just the force is with Lauke as he leaps. Boz, you managed to pull him into the seat. It looked like he was going over, and then some amount of the force, and we'll even say that it was Boz's bonus that got you to that 8, just kind of yanks you into the seat as Boz now kind of just goes flailing onto the ground. Lauke, I don't want to be too cruel here.
Uh-oh.
No.
The situation is such that this really would be an airspeeder roll based on how he's set it up, but that's ridiculous. However, I am going to say it is a freighter shuttle situation, not a starfighter.
Oh, no. All right. Still works.
I think you still get your D20 on it, though, right? Yeah. I'm not worried. Go ahead. So make your freighter shuttle.
And this.
Bum, 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 bum.
This. That would be a -3.
So Lauke once again getting to those negative numbers.
Jesus.
As Lauke just is pulled into the thing, and there's this jumping, and he's flailing, and you're grabbing him, and the stuff is going, and the thing's shifting, and it's Lauke as he just falls and sees there, and you just shift it Boz, you don't even feel yourself falling. You're just cushioned by the slow dampening of the inertia. So and though this is not a docking port, you have put this escape pod right up against the little airlock of the old escape pod that you left here a few days ago.
Make a glove.
Welcome back.
Yeah. Viola, is that you?
Yeah. And only me. Yeah.
Sorry about your other body.
Oh, it's all right. I'll hopefully get that one back, but we'll see.
Right. Yeah. All right. Let's talk to Spooky Castle, man, as soon as we can.
What's up with the?
That means the droid's going to be here, doesn't it?
Now, Lyala, I just want to say that I think based on how you have had so much continuity, there might be some things you want to tell them or warn them about that I'm just going to remind you of, if that's okay.
I would appreciate that very much.
You might just want to warn them that you are aware that this
Rancor? Oh, that
little thing is currently under siege by Perverse.
Yes.
Who has come here in this ship which she stole.
She stole my ship?
Yep.
So she is here.
Didn't we steal that ship?
Well, we
borrowed.
Borrowed, yeah.
We're gonna return it.
Right, permanently borrowed it.
Well, and
stealing.
then it was stolen by Darth Perverse, and now we can blame them for it.
Right.
So
Okay.
our hands are clean.
Can you hear my niece and nephew in the background at all?
We can, but it's appropriate for a scary cathedral trip.
All right, yeah.
So, Lyala, I feel like the thing I would want you to sort of just be mentioning to them, the ins and outs of how you got here and all that stuff is less important than the fact that you have spoken with Psalm 34, who is with Lord Reith, and Lord Reith has basically confirmed that they are holed up on this vessel. Perverse is in control. There's grave danger, but you have to rescue them. He will help you how he can. But that is kind of this is a you are in hostile territory as far as you know, or potentially hostile territory.
I am relaying this in my.
He also recommended that if you find you need to, you may want to use everything you find on the lower levels that is so dangerous. if you can find some way to use that against those who are attacking you, that might be a good thing.
And does that include the creatures that are down there?
He did not specify.
Does he
Okay.
still have my ship? My old?
That was not clarified. Lyala, would you make a retroactive look roll for me?
Shall.
Oh, wait, your old ship. I'm sorry. You mean this ship?
Yeah.
You don't know
Yeah.
anything about that ship.
Oh, okay.
All right, so.
But I will say, Boz, since I was told that we should use everything in the lower levels, I have it on good authority that there are creatures down there that we might find useful, that you might be able to control, perhaps, maybe persuade to be so kind as to help us in our endeavor. So just keep that in mind.
You're saying you want me to hunt some beasties?
No, not hunted. That was Sarah Quill for a second. No, not hunted, but maybe if you could just convince it to trample some people that as needed, that would be fantastic.
I'll see what I can do.
Are there soldiers on the ship? On the cathedral ship now? Or are they just...
Oppositional forces, so to speak.
You have no details about that.
But I will
Can I?
say there are oppositional forces because that is a fact.
Absolutely, yes.
You know,
Oppositional forces, an excellent thing to say.
Can I pull out that saber that I got?
Yeah,
Is it still on me?
still on you. Oh, by the way, Boz, you're Oh, wait. Are any of you... Let me make sure none of you, Oh, yeah, I am so sorry, Boz. I've neglected to do something. Boz, your current condition is actually afflicted.
Oh no, what happened?
Oh,
All you know, so
Boz.
I don't think I realized that. So you technically need to have 2 penalties on everything you do. We will not charge you that for the ones you did. But Boz, you pick up that thing, but your chest is just scorched in every single little spider leg like thing. It's like burns around the area, and you feel very enervated and bad. We'll say that the adrenaline allowed you to pull him in without penalties, but at this point, I never looked at his sheet, and I didn't realize how bad things had got for him. Also, I don't think he was rolling those penalties on what he did. Oh well.
What the fuck happened to me?
what's...
We've lived a lifetime in these last few hours.
Did the other me get kicked in the ass by a bantha? What the fuck happened?
Lauren, do you remember what happened?
No.
Okay.
I need to read the recaps.
It's fine. Well, you were present in the game, but yeah, no, it's
What
fine.
has happened since last week?
Fair enough. Lyala kind of just quickly tells you that Doom managed to ignite the saber, and upon doing so, actually, Lyala, make a lore roll. Let's see how much you can glean of what was going on.
16. Which
Okay.
is just a success.
Yeah, Nubaz, it seemed like, Lyala, you believe that he was taking damage using this lightsaber, that there's no switch on the saber. The saber
Right.
requires you to, focus the force to use it. It seems to be an extremely ancient model, almost like if anyone knew about the Rakatan Infinite Emperor's force sabers, where you had to channel the dark side to turn them on. It was one of those.
And you were burning from the inside,
But-
it appeared.
But this one, based on the light side, seemed to be causing harm proportional to your dark side score every time you used it.
I told him to stop hurting his body on your account. I didn't want him to hurt himself because I knew you'd re-manifest yourself into it, so I tried.
Boz,
But
I
yeah,
appreciate that.
he was glowing in a very frightening way.
yeah.
Maybe you
What
should
were
hold
you-
on to this then. Hand her the saber.
All right. I'll attach it to my belt.
I think
What were you-
is the pendant still in my chest?
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
I think since this is still in me, I don't think I can use that
fair enough.
very well. So, back to the blasters it is. Is there anything way to use like force points
Ooh.
to make my condition any better? Or does that have to be when I take the damage?
It has to be when you took the damage, and he was definitely out of them. This is an interesting
What heck?
scenario, though. As you sort of focus on these things, you sort of feel that amulet, like you touch it, and like there was like a warmth, but as soon as you've handed that thing away, there's like it's like it cools a little, becomes slightly more comfortable, and you have this sort of just sensation of maybe this amulet can heal me, or at least, if not heal me, allow me to push through the pain. Perhaps you could dig deeper, and you almost hear Darth Perverse's voice sort of saying, like, don't turn away from the power. You'll need it. So if you would like to attempt to heal thyself, I will make an ad hoc ruling that if you want to, you can attempt to search your feelings. To try to...
I'll have to move down the dark side road.
You will be moving down the dark path if you do this. But, I'll phrase it like this. Search your feelings. On a hard success... Oh, damn it. On a hard success, you will regain 1. No. Let's go. It's the dark side. It should be this. Make a search your feelings roll. On a normal success, you regain 1. Hard success, you regain 2. Extreme success, you regain 3. Vital success, you regain 4. And then you will move that many spaces down the dark side track.
Okay. Yeah, let's do it.
Okay.
This is my search your feelings. Okay, it's a 42, so it's going to be rough.
And you can, of course, put some force points on at the front end of this if you'd like. This is not charging you any force points.
I will, yeah. Okay, I will put 2 force points on it. For now.
Perfect. So you're rolling with double bonus.
Mm-hmm.
Love it.
Okay. Can I use luck points?
Ordinarily no, but yes, you can in this case.
I want to use 2 luck points to get it
Okay.
down to a 21.
A 21.
Which is a hard success.
So this will get you to normal, but you feel the darkness in you. You feel this sort of like rage burning inside. Please move your dark side track up by 2 more, and I really wouldn't try to use that lightsaber now. If I were you.
But it will do 4 points of damage to me every time I do it.
The lightsaber.
Yeah, 4 degrees of just 4.
Yeah.
That's not, you don't roll that just happens.
Right.
But you have it, so that's fine. But yeah, you get yourself to normal. You've expended your force points, you've expended your luck, you've grown darker. And Boz, you do kind of have this like anger in you, sort of this seething rage. Honestly, mainly directed at this body you're in. That he put you in this position. But you, Boz Cramey, kind of these stupid tendrils that are useful but dumb, and again, you're just like, you should be immune, and if you were immune, this would be better, but this stupid idiot, he is,
Right.
like, you're gonna keep this body protected until you have your own back, and and then fucking whatever, who cares? You do get a slight, there's this slight moment though as you do this. I want you to roll another search your feelings.
All right. That's a failure.
Failure. Good. So I'm going to do this as a just to be a dick of dramatic irony. Boz does not know this, or Boz hears this and doesn't process it, as he sort of just hears Perverse's voice, kind of in like the pain of this healing and like feeling like you're no longer just so, but you almost hear Perverse's voice saying, "Good, there you are. Good, I see. You've chosen well. You're taking important steps down an important path." And you sort of hear that, but you don't hear it as a sort of conscious, direct communication.
Right.
You just think of
I'm
this
going.
person. Yeah, go ahead.
I'm going to turn to Lyle and I'm just going to go. Next time he tries to use the Force Saber, I give you permission to forcefully stop him.
Heard. All right.
Feeling a bit better now?
Are you? Did he show any signs of like being weird?
His eyes are kind of a little bit yellow right now, actually.
Okay.
But that means little to you.
Okay, yeah, I was gonna say, is he showing any indication of the way that people looked when they were communicating in the past?
No.
I feel like she's seen it a bit.
No. He's not communicating with Darth Perverse. And because he failed that role, he's not active. This is more like in the movie, like Darth Perverse's voice is just like, right. There you are, I'm evil. So, with that, you guys are aboard this thing that you sort of have not even crashed, have just delicately thunked right back into a separate sort of, you think the airlock will hold if you attempt to disengage and climb out and such.
Lyle, who are you using who was he using the lightsaber against?
He was just trying it out. Seeing if
Are
it
you
worked.
fucking kidding me?
He was Lyle, do you honestly report what was happening?
Yeah.
So what she will tell you is he tried it once, couldn't even turn it on. It hurt him really badly. Then, while you guys were in a commercial cabin, he did it again and turned it on, and it hurt really bad, and he kept it on for a while.
I'm gonna kill him. I'm gonna kick his ass. When I get my body back, the first thing I'm going to do is catch my hands.
He does not have bad intentions. He's just a little...
just an idiot, yeah. Right.
Yeah.
I got it.
Great. So, there is one other thing going on, which is that Eyesdark is just hanging loosely from a thing. Catatonic once again. I will mention there is no head.
Ugh.
But we did save... Please.
You did not?
I thought we saved, like, a blade or two.
Oh no, you picked up a couple, but you didn't get any of there are some blades people took from the ones that, No, because you left those when Boz did that. No, he tried to cut some off, and he, like, sliced into his arm and said, never mind, and they just pieced out. So there's not even a souvenir.
Didn't Boz keep one?
You might have one yourself, but it's not from the head.
I did try to get them to bring at least a souvenir for y'all, because I know how important your trophies are. All things considered, though...
It's priorities, right? If body's first, then we can cry a bit less trophies later.
Boz, you actually, you know what you have? A shoulder blade. Okay, so, in any case, as you are, what is your plan?
Well, do we have a plan here?
What are we trying to accomplish here? We're trying to get to Spooky Man.
Yeah, we're trying to save him, knowing that the Sith are there, perhaps holding him captive.
Right, yeah.
It seems to be our best option at this point, which I feel we've pursued every avenue, and it has ultimately led us to this. So
Certainly have.
And we're supposed to find some things down here that will be useful.
hopefully.
Or look, how good are you? How good are the two of you? Loyal, look, how good are the two of you at fighting? Who's the better fighter of the two of you? Would you say?
I mean, I'm great with just fighting sticks, but those are lacking here. But if you can find me 2 solid metal things, I could hold my own.
Okay.
And
Do you-
look,
It could use a blaster. More of used to, being behind the sticks, but
I'm really
right.
good if I use it.
I'm going to take Eyes Dark and I'm going to hand him to the Layala because she doesn't have any sticks to fight with.
Oh, I'll
Take care of this, and I'll take my
decent
rifle.
with a blaster. I would just like to make that very clear.
What did you just give her?
Eyes Dark.
You're
The
giving
body.
her Eyes Dark's body. Copy.
Right, yeah.
But I'm just holding him like under his arms
Okay.
because I can't
He's heavy.
carry-
Yeah, he's gonna. All
Wait,
right.
what's
great.
your lift? What's your lift score?
oh, that's a good 25.
All right, never mind. I'm gonna take him back.
Okay. Thank you, I appreciate that. No,
So
Can I find some way to fashion like a backpack to so
You
I
know
can,
what?
put
He
him over
still
my back?
did have those straps on his back he was carrying the thing with, so you could kind of take them off him or tie them from him
Right.
onto you and try to
I'm gonna-
half pull him behind. That will be cumbersome, but sure, you could do that. Just so
Can
you
we
have.
find a safe place to just put him?
You can
I don't
attempt
want to
to.
leave him behind for now. I'm
But
not
in any
sure what can
case,
happen. I'm gonna shitty Yoda backpack him, but with a full-size person.
His feet are dragging.
yeah.
Yeah,
So
he's
Buzz,
he's tied back to back with me, dragging like this.
and he's got
on my
his backpack that you've slung over to his side.
Right,
You're
it's
pulling
like-
a lot of weight at this point, but
Yeah.
you have him. We'll see how encumbered that will make you if you have to do anything.
I have a 60 lift score.
60 lift. Okay, you're in decent shape in that case to do this, but you're able to pull him without endurance rolls and stuff. But a dodge roll might be a dicey prospect for you.
I can always
Fight
just turn
rolls,
around.
etc. Yeah, just all right. Take the hit. Sorry. Yeah. Okay. So
Yeah.
So with that, you guys, what are you doing?
shall we see what we can find down here?
Yeah.
I'm gonna go into trekker mode, see if I can pick up any sense of beasties roaming around.
All right.
Do you smell as well?
Are you are undoing? You're still on your your escape.
Yeah, let's.
I'm gonna open the airlock with my rifle pointed.
You push open the airlock. The sort of that scent that you haven't smelled of kind of this mold meets incense meets kind of just weird ancient ship oils and lubricants. And you all sort of begin to peer out. You see you're in that long passage. There are those spots on the ground that kind of eerily are open just to blank space, kind of in the grating that's imperfect. However, those of you with hearing or listen scores of 50 or higher actually hear the sounds of footsteps and clinking metal.
We might have company real soon. I'm
Should
gonna
we-
pull my blaster out.
Maybe
We
should
hide.
Do I still have a blaster on me? I'm
Yeah.
assuming we do.
Yeah, you
Okay,
have
I'll pull
cover.
mine out as well.
All right.
Do any of us have explosives?
No.
All right, just never mind. Don't worry
Probably
about
not.
it.
You hear at this point in the distance a voice saying, "Where are my family? You bastards, you bastards." And you hear grunts and kind of people just sort of hissing in these kind of eerie voices. I hate droids. Is anybody looking out?
Yeah, I'll look at it.
All right. If you glance down this hall, you see about 30 meters from you, a large Class 4 security droid with 2 shields, whom you know as Mrs. 4, is currently engaged in a fight with 3 of the staff here aboard the vessel, wearing those sort of blue and purple robes. Except you notice that these individuals with these robes are no longer wearing the gold filigreed masks, and the faces you see within have sunken eyes and cadaverous visages. They are sort of fighting these people very aggressively, but one of them turns and says, "There." And they are going to try to, like, move past Mrs. Four. But Mrs. Four, sort of glancing back, says, "No, my family, you will tell me where my wives are." And Mrs. Four, as she's beginning, like, to be pushed back by them, these creatures are sort of rushing towards all of you in this kind of mishmash of such things. You even hear a couple of them coming from behind. We are now entering a combat sequence. So, what would you all like to do in this combat sequence? Again, these are just, it's kind of just say the thing you want to do. If you want to do more than one thing, you can, but then you take penalties on everything. What does everyone want to try?
They're running down an uncovered hallway, right?
It's like a
straight up hallway.
Yeah, it's like a hallway, basically. Yes.
Right. So I can just shoot them like fish in a barrel.
You can shoot them.
Who has the rifle?
I think I
have a sporting rifle, but
Okay.
The sporting rifle.
No, I have a blaster point. I have a blaster.
Yeah, the sporting
You want
rifle
the
would have been
sporting
moved
rifle?
back to Lauke.
Can I
You
flip
can give me the
Boz?
sporting rifle. Yeah, I'll use it.
All right, so
Yeah, I'll flip Boz.
you're gonna toss Boz a sporting rifle.
I'll test you the blaster.
I already got one.
I'm gonna let you guys do a trade-off. That's no things. Boz, you are going to have at least one penalty on any shots because you have a body tied to you.
Right. It seems fair.
I mean, yeah, and it will be a general. I think for you that will be a general blaster roll because that's not your weapon of choice.
Right. Yep.
Which
I
is
don't
not
have
bad.
a weapon of choice. Yeah.
So Lauke, are you? So basically, is everyone just shooting?
Like, peek out him.
Understood. Great. Alrighty. Okay, so if you guys are all just shooting, go ahead and make your attacks, everyone. Boz, you have one penalty. But everyone just do some shooting. They're just trying to do whatever they're doing.
Extreme success.
Normal success.
Normal success, extreme success. Lauke.
Nothing.
No success. So basically, Lauke shots go wide. They actually, she's going to roll a block. So first of all, Mrs. Four, seeing you back there, she is actually coming, and though she's trying to let your shots go through, she is trying to block their approach to you. So she's actually going to roll a block roll here. She rolls a 90, so she's a bad droid. I believe that technically...
Well, we all knew that.
I believe that is technically a success for her, but it is only a normal success. Okay. So, these individuals kind of weren't ready for you to be shooting. So, Boz, you rolled a normal?
Yes.
So that is 3 degrees against people. Lyala, you rolled an extreme?
Yes.
And you were just using a
8.
normal blaster?
Yeah.
Okay, so that actually is also 3. So basically, you are sort of diminishing their entire group by 3 full... You pick off several of them. However, 2 of them make it... Now, they're still going to have to beat her block roll of normal, so they'll actually have to get hard or better. And none of you tried to dodge, so they'll just hit you if they roll. But they have to roll normals or better because she's been blocking for you guys. These sort of servants in these Al-Sakani robes, although they don't look like Al-Sakani any of you have ever seen, if any of you even know who the Al-Sakani are, their sunken visages, I don't think you guys know what species they are. The other group does. Cool. They're sort of reaching through, and the 2 who are here, the first one, you'll be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. First one's going to Lyala. Second one is going to Boz. Lyala.
Yeah?
That's really bad. Okay, so that's definitely going through. I think this you're not dodging, so this definitely hits. Please make a willpower roll.
I will say, I did say I was going pew and coming
I understand,
back.
and she's.
did say-
I just rolled a vital for this one.
Okay, fine.
Oh, boy.
And I'm
Boz.
sorry, what about
Boz, can you also
willpower?
do a willpower roll for me, please?
Okay, you know what? I'm not bad at those. I am going to use a force point to re-roll that.
Okay.
Okay. That is a what kind of success?
That is my question.
Where is will? I lost it. I'm
It
flustered.
is
mental.
Under mental.
That is a hard success.
Hard success.
With the 30.
Great. Okay. So they had vital, you had hard. Perfect. So they're only seeing about you. Boz, what did you have?
Also hard.
Hard. Okay, great. So we'll just do Boz, you lose 1 force point, Lyali, you lose 2. As they are draining your life force, they're draining the force itself away from you. So you lose a force point.
Alright.
As they're pulling this stuff away, and you see them, like, becoming even sort of, like, more vital and more strong, these two who are here. Upon sort of draining you like this and realizing that they are, sort of, like, outmatched, they actually do, because this is kind of like a combat sequence, I'm just going to say that Boz and Lyali, you are temporarily sort of stunned by this, and they kind of just disappear off into the shadows of this structure they know well. But you hear them, like, whispering and like, reporting your location, confirming it somehow.
Oh, crap.
And Mrs. Force stands there and says, "They have taken my wives."
Right, what's going on, Miss
Taking
Hall?
more from us.
Your vessel was taken by a floating blue woman.
Right,
My wives and I were
you son of a
abducted.
bitch.
My wives are scattered across
Sorry
the
about
ship.
that. Right.
I cannot protect them.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, well,
She looks at Eyesdark and says, "This one is defective."
I could have told you that one a long time ago. Alright. I'm gonna keep pulling him. Can you tell us what's going on here, Mrs. Hall?
I literally just did.
Right,
She then turns to you and just kind of like this like blank face just goes, "Stop being thick, organic. My wives are in trouble. If anything happens to Mrs. 1, I will never hear her sweet beeps again. If anything happens to Mrs. 2, I will never hear her sweet beeps again."
How did you get on this vessel?
Okay.
We were brought here by a little blue creature. Do I have to repeat myself? She slams her shields down, kind of like shaking this whole room.
They were on our ship, and our ship got stolen by Darth Perverse, so that means Darth Perverse is here.
Yeah.
She's docked?
So,
Yes.
Lala, what the fuck is going on? Like, how are we behind here? Yeah, weren't we running in front of them to get here first?
She had access to a ship that she stole from our party, right?
So, how did we end up in an escape pod?
What? Because we didn't have a ship.
You flew commercial and escaped when this ship came to this system?
Yeah, we had to get here the only way we could. All right, we did the best we could.
It is at this moment that you all hear the scraping of stone. I actually technically should roll this, but he's got so many. But yeah, that one's already fine. 7. You hear this like kind of like moving, almost like. And as you look back, some of the stone blocks of the structure are rearranging themselves behind you. And this kind of cold burst of like very like stale air flows into the hallway where you stand.
Isn't that where our bodies were?
It is not in that chamber.
All right. Well,
Let's keep moving.
What was the guy's name that we're looking for?
Lord Rythe.
Lord
Lord
Ryan.
Rythe. Can I call out Lord Rythe? If you're here, if you can hear us.
In response to that call, you hear the stone like all the stone just like shakes, just that stone behind you.
Is talking to us in the stone.
I don't know if that's him. Can you help us?
There is now if this wasn't clear, like stone bricks have moved and there's like a new passage that has
Oh,
formed.
Oh.
Sorry, I realize I did not literally say that. The stone moved and, like, a wall opened up, basically.
All right, yeah, let's go.
Okay,
I'm going to
yeah.
run in.
All right, you step in there, and there is a strange amber glow in this chamber. You see
That
many
sounds
of those
familiar.
crystals embedded, glowing brightly. There is also thick steam rising in this chamber. On the far side of it, there is a sarcophagus, unadorned, leaning up as if it had been entombed within this wall. And in fact, you think that, like, if this room were to fold in, it would be completely within solid stone.
Can I? Is there anything pertaining to chistery in this chamber?
No roll is required, but actually nothing that you can see as of yet. However, as you've entered, the sarcophagus opens. An even more intense burst of amber mist, and then you see within blue skin, red eyes, the face of Stybla'uk'eanuro from Life. You notice there is kind of like a couple of they would have sewn you up as best they could, but your body is there, Lauke. You're looking at your own body. It is kind of in just like a simple sort of robe, but it is there. Within this space,
God, that's why our body's
you
wearing the
notice
tube.
basically there are a few pieces of equipment that are largely analogous to what you were buried with, or what you died with, but are not the exact things, but they're kind of like recreations. But they themselves look very old.
Can I go back? I'll just shout.
Fuck.
The amber crystals begin to glow.
Are there any loose crystals anywhere, or are they like?
They're like
stuck to-
embedded in the wall. Lauke, I need you, if you want to do that, please make a willpower roll.
Okay.
Do you want to use any force points on this?
Well, I already rolled, so,
Okay. Fair enough.
but I will use one to re-roll.
Okay. You can apply additional ones before that reroll if you so choose as well.
No, I've only got one left now. So
Understood. Gotcha. It's getting a little tight in the old force point.
It
pockets. The old force point wallety wallet.
It is a success.
A success.
Regular.
Very good. You begin to try to sort of like just like enter that body. And actually you do. Basically, suddenly, sanguinary, you sort of like, the amber glow fills your eyes. Amber glow fills everyone's eyes. This being said, this is actually, because you only did this, I'm gonna have to charge him way too much for this. That's fine. Your buddy is, that's the only one you guys get for free. So sanguinary, you find yourself in a narrow stone chamber. You are standing next to Lyala. You are standing with Boz. You see another blue form, but this one is male, within a sarcophagus, and surrounding you are those amber crystals embedded in the walls of a very small, cramped stone chamber. As Lauke, as a Chiss man, is now kind of like opening his glowing red eyes. Behind you, sanguinary, you see Mrs. Four. And I guess you see that tied to Boz Cramey is the unconscious body of, to Doom's body, but it doesn't seem like Doom's in the driver's seat, is the unconscious form of one. To you, eyes dark, to them, Adelard. But, sanguinary, the main thing that you feel, or reverse that, to you, Adelard, to them, so many people. But the main thing, sanguinary, you feel for the first time in a long time is a quiet. And the amber is out of your eyes.
But Lyala looks like Kyra and Boz looks like Doomstone.
Yes, and strictly speaking, you don't know which one's which, but judging by the fact that Boz now has your rifle, you're assuming he's Boz, and judging by the fact that Lyala doesn't look like she likes the clothes she's wearing, is Lyala.
She has a different stance, I'd assume.
Actually, that could go either way, honestly.
They both look... Lyala definitely stands different. Lyala slumps, and I assume Kyra is, you know.
Okay. Who is this? Who?
Lyala, Boz, Lauke, where are you?
I think
Here?
that's him.
Oh, wow, a lot's going on right now.
So,
Stymie?
you're Lauke, then. Sanguinary Tembo, a pleasure to meet you, Lauke. So then, it worked. Whatever you found a way. Did Lord Reith do this?
We don't know.
I'm not quite sure. We just came into this room and the thing opened and the body was in there and he just kind of switched in.
Okay. A quick question I need to ask simply because it has happened several times now. Are we at this moment being pursued by anything?
Oh,
Of
absolutely, yes.
Okay,
When are we
excellent.
not?
Yes, but you know.
By the way, and I'll toss you your rifle back. Thanks for the
Thank
loan.
you.
And Kevin, I've just made a new tab for you called Back in Body Lock, in which I've copied your current lock body, but I recopied in all of your physical and sense traits. So you have now restored your ability to look in the dark. Unfortunately, any improvements you've made over those skills do not transfer to this
Don't
body.
worry, there were none.
What improvements?
I improved.
Also, strictly
That
speaking,
is
sanguinary, you haven't rolled for yet, but go ahead and click your acrobatics box.
Ooh.
No, you used force points on that, right?
I did use.
Then don't click it. Don't click it.
Okay.
So, as you are now,
All
now
is
these
well.
two have been separated.
So, you walked into this room and now Lauke and I are separated from each other.
Right.
Looks like it. I'm gonna approach Lauke and like, can I touch his face?
Mhm.
Lauke,
Yeah.
is this real? Are you you again?
I think so. I can.
Huh.
It's
Ow.
back. I see, just like we used to. I
You
feel.
certainly aged well for a full
I look pretty good for a 5,000-year-old dead guy.
Yeah.
Mrs. Four will say, "This is all criffing fascinating, but where are my wives?"
Right, yeah, her wives got captured, by the way. We should probably deal with that at some point.
No, we should deal with finding the rest of our bodies, because if his is here, that means there might be other ones in other crypts.
Yeah, Lord Wright, I'll just like speak to the ceiling or something. Could you do you have other sarcophagi
is
with
he
like
here?
our bodies in it? I don't know, but we spoke his name and
And
it
he
all
opened.
opened
Dark
and
reverse.
this was there. So
Here
Boz,
too.
I want
Oh,
you...
yes.
Yeah, and you would be aware of at least that setup for the situation. Boz, my dear sweet Boz, thank you so much for saying all of that. I want you... Kind of a feel roll. Boz, just roll... Roll the tendrils, actually. Let's have you feel this in your tendrils.
I didn't like
It's
that.
really not your
Alright.
tendrils, but let's have you feel it there.
Okay. That is a success.
Okay. You notice as you
wait.
called that out, asking about other bodies, that you
Mm-hmm.
feel a tingle. I'm having it be tendrils because that's like closest to a feel for you. Your tendrils almost tingle, but instead you feel your sweet amulet just slightly just warming, touching, attention almost, just like a bit of presence. It's something you have felt periodically, but you feel it so in direct response to what you just said. And then you hear a voice just in your mind that says, "Oh, those seem important to find. The race is on."
What just happened?
The verse is in my head.
What did she say?
She sees what I see, I think. She said, here's what I say, so I have to be careful what I say.
Just repeat what she said then.
She said, those seem important to find, don't they?
Oh, Chris. All right, so let's.
I'm sorry. Whatever degree of Doom Toronto is in you will force you to say the last part of it, which is the race is on.
Okay.
Whatever
sorry, you
part
cut
of
out
you
for me, so I didn't hear that.
All good. But Doom Toronto will take over and just you'll have to say the race is
The
on.
race is on. Family.
Okay.
Sorry, something came out of me for a second there. I know it's-
Does anybody here have a 77 or higher in listen?
Yes.
Okay, then actually you guys do hear just like not nearby, just in the distance, you hear like doors opening and feet moving as if an Easter egg hunt for your bodies is now underway.
Can I listen though for any more like stone scraping or moving?
You may.
Okay.
Can I also do that?
You may.
So I'm
Oh!
Do it too.
Extreme success with a 4.
Never mind.
Lyala, you hear no other stones scraping. You hear no
Damn
other
it.
passages being opened by Lord Ryth.
Okay.
Is there anything else in this room?
Wait. However, is there a however?
No.
Damn it.
But you do hear the pounding of sort of feet that they were hearing. Lauke, in answer to that question, it is just basically whatever your like original starting equipment was. So Lauke, at this point, you don't. I guess we also need to go to from your page. We need to. If the back and body lock doesn't have any of the equipment that Sanguinary has, you should delete all your equipment, including suits and helmets. But you now can get all the equipment that your other body had.
All right.
Just it's
Is
like
it-
equivalents
is it-
have been made.
Oh, so it's not like 4,000 years old.
Yes. Now
They made new versions.
It looks like it's extremely old, but it looks a few hundred years old, and it will be functional, as if they periodically will remake certain things.
Okay.
We'll get into all the details of this if you guys survive
That's fine.
what comes. But
So
but yeah,
2,
that is
3 then. I have to put resilient 3 for current
Oh, so wait. So sorry. What is your? Sorry. Yes.
because I was 2, 4.
Your current. So yeah,
In
move
my-
your resilience down by 1. Your base is resilient 1. You're now resilient 3.
Oh, both of them go down 1.
Unless you're. Oh, I'm so sorry. Yes, you have 2. So yes, no, you're back up to.
2, 3.
Yeah, 2, 3. Perfect. Sorry. Okay. So.
Well,
You hear movement in the chamber. Has anybody... Actually, yeah, nobody said that to Sanguinary, so it's fine. This isn't real time, so they all just had it. It's fine.
so we're in a race for what?
The
Our
other bodies.
So
Yep.
your body was here, and once you got here, you went back to it. Understood. So presumably then each of you have a body in its own chamber.
Some secret
It
room.
is to be assumed.
There's also all those little creepy things are now chasing us. And
Oh,
they suck.
the caretakers,
Yes.
Yes.
the crypt keepers.
Right, yeah. Those little fuckers.
They did something to Boz and Lyala. Your
Yeah,
body's
they
fine. though.
sucked the force right out of me.
Sanguinary, I want you to roll a just general miscellany roll. Let's see if this...
Sure.
Okay, well, no, then do culture. Do culture, then.
I'm glad you said that. I rolled a 53, which is exactly a success.
Then I'm going to just say
In
from
culture.
the very back of your mind, you do remember that your dear friend, Doom Toronto, let me see what he literally told you about it. He didn't tell you that. No, he did. he did tell you guys. He told you all that everyone here are Stenez shifters. He used his... This was literally your second session. So this was back when you guys were still here. When he used his tendrils, he found out that the species who works here are Stenez shifters, and he actually did know what they were. And he mentions that they can speak, so for some reason they're not speaking, but he kind of indicated that they're known to like drain like life force or like the force from people or something.
Oh, so then you don't have any of those abilities anymore.
No, I still have them. They didn't totally suck that.
Interesting. Well, a good bully for that, I suppose.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. I guess then, if we're in a race against a Sith Lord, what manner of droid is Mrs. Four?
Mrs.
She's
Four
the security
is
one.
the protection droid. She has 2 large, like, full-body shields that she just, like, stands in the way of people to protect.
Okay.
You also have an unconscious animate.
Who's on Boz's back.
Yep.
All right, well, let's...
I think we should stop
Fine.
standing around like idiots and start looking.
Yep.
Yes.
List is ready.
Is there a way out of this room?
Yeah. I mean, it's Mrs. Four standing in it. Yeah.
No other, like, secret passage ways from this room to others?
You may look for them if you'd like.
All right, Mrs. Well, the sooner we find our buddies, the sooner we're likely to find your wives. So
Hard success.
You are confident that this room was kind of formed for this purpose and there's no other passages in or out.
Got it.
Mrs. Four is certainly happy to do that. She says, about time.
I'd run out.
All right.
I would when I get out, I just want to check the entryway to see if there's anything that sort of any marking of any kind, anything that like might call these rooms out in particular.
That's interesting. What kind of role could that be? Make a pitch. I could see that being, like, if you're looking for, like, insignias or something, that would probably be more, like, of a culture or even linguistics.
I mean, like, if I'm, like, just look... I mean, I was thinking more basic than that, of just, like, looking to seeing if there's any kind of markings around the door.
Just any markings at all.
That look intentional.
Right. Yeah, make a, culture, lore, or linguistics, any of those.
Okay.
To kind of like just try to like get a sense of how you would sort of, spot them or know what they sort of mean or know how to look for them.
Culture it is. That I will spend 1 point of luck to make that a extreme success.
And good news that you already succeeded, so you couldn't even click the box again. With an extreme success, you must have looked this up in your travels, having heard all about it. In High Galactic, these are sort of some like obscure High Galactic phrases that have been written in a strange hand, but you've seen them here or there. You get the sense that it's at a seam almost, so like the hallways sort of like moved so that they now have some High Galactic words written on the side. Does that make sense? Like previously these stone kind of like cathedral
like they
panels
split
were
the
separate
wall.
things, and then they
Got it.
shifted and moved, and now they have a symbol on them that kind of is a bit of guidance. But you with that, between that and your tracking, you really do sort of maybe know what kinds of sigils to look for. Specifically, ones that are like cut off probably means these would lead to the right sorts of passages.
At the very least, I'll point it out to Boz. I think perhaps the other tombs might be marked with these symbols.
I'm gonna go full Trekker mode then.
Well, we got a couple trackers here.
Yeah, same.
All right.
Well, I'm just rubbing
Say the word
myself.
and I'll
This
roll
might
it.
be two trackers, too furious.
Two tracks too curious.
Bad Doom is in here.
Um, So, as you all are going to make some tracking rolls, then please, you two do that. Lauke and Lyala, anything you're doing?
Ooh, baby. Extreme
I'll just be
success.
telling Lyala how good it feels to be back, to be
Damn, it
Chiss
feels
again.
good to be a Chiss, yeah.
Yeah.
I was like, great, good for you. Good for you.
Sanguinary, what did you have?
Just a
Shield.
normal success.
All right, great. So as you two sort of begin tracking your way through the passages, like looking at walls, kind of being somewhat systematic, moving through, tracking is kind of a cool thing for you because I'm actually going to allow you to like also use it in a very sort of cinematic way as you like Boz, like you'll like you and Sanguinary like nod and start going down a hallway, but then you sort of pause and push everyone back as a couple of people in those like blue robes like rush around, like ooh, you know, just kind of looking, and you guys are holding, you know, kind of avoiding detection. You're sort of making a systematic thing. Boz, make a psychology roll. Sanguinary can't make one, but you can make this.
Normal success.
I'm gonna say it doesn't quite occur to you. Maybe it would later, but like to whatever degree, like you know, Sanguinary is like doing a very good job of tracking. You're just also mentioning you haven't seen any more of these things, but in whatever sort of like walking around this lowest level of the cathedral ship, you know, as you've kind of gone from around, like you started back here and now you're there or whatever on this, you know, or high tech. Big budget CG Legos. As you're sort of moving your way around, it doesn't dawn on you that Sanguinary is subconsciously leading you guys to a very specific portion of the lower levels. Nor does it dawn on Sanguinary. You're just feeling like, all right, I guess we're doing clockwise, not counterclockwise, whatever. But soon, you and Sanguinary sort of pause as you do hear a few impatient, sort of thumping, very loud sounds. You also, at this point, are coming closer to the original crypts that, like, you sort of have woken up in or gone amber in when you came in and found those fake bodies earlier.
So we're near the Rancor, is what you're saying.
You believe that you are near the Rancor. You both come to that realization with no psychological implications. You're just like, well, we're there. So you believe you've now made your way around. You have yet to see any symbols guiding you towards those bodies, but you do hear some dull, sort of impatient thudding within some chamber beyond.
So, I know what I'm going to suggest right now, boss, is ludicrous. But
Try me.
one thing that Lord Rice said to us before we lost communication with him was that there were creatures underneath the cathedral, that if we could gain their allegiance or control, would be useful in taking the cathedral back and protecting him. It's possible this is the creature he was speaking of. And I am versed in normal rancors, but nothing has seemed normal thus far in this adventure. But
You're saying you want to turn us into Rancor rights.
Well, I'm just saying that we should at least see what the situation is with the Rancor.
Sanguinary, that's my favourite idea. I've heard it all day.
Let him out.
Let's go find the Rancor.
Let's go find that fucking Rancor.
Also, if we happen to find my body along the way, I would not object to that.
Right, yeah, I mean, I guess, yeah.
As you guys
Rancor time.
make your way
Yes!
to the Rancor, I'm just gonna say, sort of for fun effect of such things, as you guys kind of like rush, and like Sanguinary is kind of just going fast like a kid, and based on his response, Sizbaz, as you two kind of like make your way like through, like, all right, whatever, and like Lyala and Lauke are in the back, and Mrs. Four, who, can we just say she's taken Eyestark?
Oh,
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
for
Yeah.
sure.
Just trying to. It wasn't intentional, which I rolled to see where the droids were, But when I rolled that, I was like, well, that will help them.
Yeah, I literally thought that and completely forgot to address it. Like,
So let's pretend that you did, and this was all your idea.
So she's basically
Yeah, of
just
course.
carrying him and just being like, oh my god.
Or you just throw
Yeah.
Ice Dark off of you as you want to run after Rancor, and she just
And she's like,
picks
very
him up.
well. My wives, Mrs. 2 will be
They're
very testy. If I let this catatonic individual perish, I will carry
can't
him.
have any dead weight.
I need my wives to respect my protection I offer, even though I have failed to protect them from their current abduction. I'm not a good spouse.
Can you not
No,
communicate with them?
All comms have been jammed. I have tried on numerous occasions.
Miss Four, I don't think your space is married you because of the services you provide them. I think they married you because of the person. I say as I'm running towards the Rancor.
I understand that, but basically, as you sort of say that, you and sort of Sanguinary, scoot around the corner. And just because you were so excited and chatting and everything, kind of going down this, you scoot around to reveal 5 Stennis shifters in their robes, who had also been looking at the walls around here, but upon seeing you here, they're ready for an attack. But because your numbers are so high at stuff, we won't say it's an ambush, so the attack goes to you. Combat sequence, my friends. A bunch of Stennis shifters kind of rush towards you. Their cadaverous, sort of sunken kind of eyes, just these black sockets. Their hands rushing out, and all of you feel a mild disorientation as they begin reaching towards you. What would you all like to do?
I want to take my vibro blade out and just carve through them with it.
Wonderful. You want to start cutting people up. I'm deeply into
Yes.
it. Lyala?
I'll get my blaster out and back away.
Understood.
And
So you're
shoot.
gonna try to not be the main target. Great.
Right.
I think usually Boss would do the same thing, but there's something in him that
Oh
is a
no,
bit
you need
darker
the blood. I love
now.
it. Lauke.
Yeah.
Probably same as Lyala.
So what you and Lyala are sort of stepping back, trying to shoot, hoping to not be the main things. Boz is rushing into the fray. Sanguinary, what are you going to do?
I'm gonna, I guess, I'll pull up my Jaboka. And I am also going to charge through, but I'm mostly trying to... Is it like a running dodge if I'm basically just trying to push them out of the way to get behind them? using the blades?
Yes, that would be a run dodge if you're just trying to get around them. If you're not engaging and you're just trying to do it. So if you do a run dodge, you will roll a run with 1 penalty, and you'll roll a dodge with a penalty.
Okay.
Extreme success on my attack.
On your attacks. Great.
Yes.
Well, we haven't... So you don't roll until everyone said what they're doing, because I'll tell you the sort of order.
Shit, sorry.
Sometimes people's stuff affects... Now, in this case, it's fine, because melee always does go first.
Okay.
But, I'm just trying to see. You know what? Mrs. 4 is not even getting into this. She's a little behind you with Ice Dark. So you won't get any blocking stuff. So Boz is just rushing through like a madman. Sanguinary, you are also going to be moving through, kind of trying to move around with your Jaboka. You're not attacking. So Lauke and Lyala, would you guys roll your attacks?
I already did it, and it was a regular success.
Regular success, Lauke.
Yes.
It is a hard success.
Hard success. Great.
Nice.
Okay. My Stennis Shifter friends, I'm going to do a situation here since there's multiple of them. I'm going to roll once on their whole behalf. This has much worse implications for Boz and Sanguinary because I'm kind of just rolling once for all of them.
Sure.
So they'll sort of
Sure.
be getting some stuff. But because they're all Stennis Shifters, because they've all sort of been doing this, all of my Stennis Shifters are going... Because Stennis Shifters have this cool feature, which is when they start draining force points away from people, they don't have a cap on the force points, until they sort of rest. So the Stennis Shifters tend to get a lot of bonuses. So seeing the ferocity with which they're seeing here, Sanguinary, you are doing a dodge, so go ahead and roll your dodge and your run. Both have 1 penalty.
Okay.
My Stennis Shifters, however, one thing they're all going to do is spend 2 points so that they can be rolling some d8s instead of d10s. They are, however, going to both attack and dodge your insanity. So the dodge will be... We'll take one away. It's a shame. Okay. What was your dodge, Sanguinary?
So my run was a regular success. My
Okay.
dodge was a vital success.
Vital success. Okay. So.
Oh no, sorry.
Oh, wait! They're not.
Extreme success.
Oh, extreme success. Wait a second. They're not even dodging you. I take that back. They are fighting back. Bad guys don't dodge. What am I talking about? This is just a full roll, no penalty. I just rolled an 8 on my d8, so hopefully I don't do that again, but I have another die to do it. So you have an extreme, so fight back. They have to roll a vital in order to beat your extreme. Boz Craney.
Did they do it?
Uh-oh.
What is your guys' policy on a DM just like a dick spending like 1 luck to get it to a vital?
Oh, you
Don't
do
you
it.
fucking dare.
I will not tolerate it. I do not agree.
All right. Well, here's the
Unless
situation.
we get all our force points back.
Oh, actually, deal.
You have.
Yeah, let Boss die.
So here's the situation, Boz. You are rushing them with a vibroblade, correct?
Yeah, I am.
Okay.
We didn't ask you to go Leroy Jenkins, okay?
In
I
your
had to.
darkness.
I have
with-
him watching Need for Blood.
All right. So with your vibroblade, a vibroblade deals. I know. What is it? Vibroblade is 1, is normal. So you are only doing 2, but you're doing it to every single one. You're diminishing all of them. I am going to charge you because there are 5 of them. Typically, you in a fight back, it's like, I'm going to charge you a single... I really should have given them even more bonuses, but it wouldn't have mattered because it was a 6 and that wasn't what I needed to get them to the vibe. Forget it. Anyway, I'm going to charge you 1 force point. 1 force point was leached off of you just from how many there were. You have not killed any of them, but you have like knocked them all back. So if you simply want to sort of run through, you can. The dodge that... Oh, no, they weren't dodging. They were just fighting back. So actually, however, because they rolled... they rolled an extreme success. They rolled extreme successes. Lauke and Lyala. None of your shots managed to get through. That kind of their fighting was sort of good. Sanguinary.
Yes.
You were also a target,
All right.
but your dodge was a vital.
Sorry, extreme.
Extreme. Well, the tie always goes to dodge. So you did manage to move through them, you know, like without any sort of trouble as you kind of just, you know, kind of like weave and walk. Like you didn't get there. You didn't get there like without like touching anything. You didn't have the perfect run, but you managed to just muscle through. And they were much more focused on Boz Craving. Okay, so the good news is, Boz, you fought them all down. They've taken a little of your force power, but it's not too crazy. The bad news.
I'm happy that I have 7 force points.
Indeed.
Oh, good for you.
Well, I'm sure you don't have 7 left.
No, I have 3 left.
Okay. You feel rage. Boz, please make a willpower roll with a number of penalties equal to your current dark side score.
What is your current dark side score? Ooh.
Well, that's pretty significant.
Bye.
A 66 under 99.
Execute Order 66.
That is so that's a normal success. All
Normal success.
Let me roll the opposition.
That is impressive.
Let me roll the opposition of our dear lady. Damn it. Only rolled a normal for her as well. So, your eyes go red. You want to sort of stay here and kill all of them. And you can't really see a good reason not to, but you do feel that though something's compelling you to, you still are in control. If you want to kill all of these Stennis shifters, you may do so, but you are not compelled to. You feel the desire to. You felt something. You felt your hands almost like you felt like this thing just burning, but without pain, without sort of harming you. But you feel this need to just like while they're reeling, like rather than just rush through this room and let them like rush off, you want to just like sever heads and make every like you just want to take limbs and just hack them to pieces. But you don't have to.
With this success, am I aware that the amulet is doing this?
Oh
Making me feel this
yes.
way?
You have a feeling that it's drawing you. Yeah.
Then fuck her. I'm not doing that.
Very good. All right. Boz resists the dark side. Great. So, Sanguinary, you're at the door into the Rangor chamber.
All right. Then,
The other Stennis shifters, they kind of like pull up and they're like, Lauke and Lyala as they like rush past you guys, maybe take a pot shot, but no one is able to sort of, they manage to sort of elude.
oh, they're gone.
Yes.
I had an idea for something really fucked up I could have done, but I don't think Boz would do it.
Fair enough.
But I was thinking I might cut one of the Stennis shifters down enough that like he'd still be alive, but then drag him into the Rancor pit and feed him to the Rancor.
Why
To
not?
make him like me. But I don't know if Boz is that fucked up.
I think because you sort of resisted in your moment of resistance, that's when they got away. You had this moment to do it, but since you sort of fought it off and didn't go to it, they've managed to get away. So
Is that a
ends
dark
that
sided thing? Because that seems like a normal thing that Layala would do if she had to.
I mean, I guess that
Feed
would
a
be a thing.
live human whose legs you cut off to a Rancor?
Well,
Yeah,
you
that
know what?
seems
They look like zombies, so. And also, I'm Chiss. Other people, I'm having a hard time reconciling that y'all are even real people, so. You know.
Wow, alright.
I mean, you are. You are.
Decided to
But
quit pour that red then.
you are. They are not, and they were trying to kill us anyway, so. Feed them.
I'm gonna open the door.
The door, Sanguinary, is heavily sort of like latched from this side. Lauke?
Is it like just like a person door, or is this like the door, like door?
It is just for the fun of it, it is a person-sized door at the bottom of a much bigger door.
Yeah, perfect.
You begin to sort of undo various sort of chains on this thing with your Jaboka, with your Jaboka,
God.
like you're able to like,
It's a reverse doggy door.
effectively as you sort of manage to pull these open, and now all the latches are thrown. There was a good bit of movement inside during this fight, but now it is completely still within.
I would like to try to open the door as quietly as possible.
Make a pickpocket roll.
Pickpocket.
If you'd rather do stealth, you can do stealth, but that or sneak rather. But I think I might need a hard on a sneak.
Well, I think we'll do the sneak.
Understood. I'm gonna roll opposed though, because this thing's actively listening. Right?
That is a hard.
A hard success. This thing is actively
success.
listening. So. You don't think anything would hear it, but you're also very familiar with Rancor ears, and you think you hear you're like I'm doing this better than anyone could possibly do it, but you're also like I did just like I threw all the latches, but you open it.
Right.
What light from this room sort of shines into a completely dark pit. You do smell just like a lot of rot. You smell a lot of kind of just like a pretty ghastly sort of scent that wafts over all of you. Seems to be a large chamber within. It's really dark. Sanguinary, do they have low light vision? I don't think they do. The Zabrak, no.
This is Brock, no.
So it's pitch black in there, but you can take a look just to kind of see what you might see in, It's actually not pitch black. There's a few maybe little windows that might be reflecting bits of, like running lights from outside the ship.
Yeah, I'll look in, and more so given that I can see that it's darker in there, listening for any kind of breathing or movement.
Okay. Make a listen roll.
That is a regular success.
Regular success. You listen in. You've probably seen rancors before, right? And you've studied them a fair bit.
Yes.
You've seen more not domesticated, but more. One thing is that though rancors can be very stealthy and sort of stuff. If you have a relatively it's very hard to find them in the bogs of Dothamir or whatever. But a rancor heart is a big thing. It pumps loud, And if you're in a completely quiet chamber, even with the dull, charge of the repulsors at the bottom of this cathedral ship, you would suspect you might be able to hear that heart, so you listen for the heartbeat. You hear nothing.
I'm going to step further into...
Okay.
I will actually, before I step in, I will turn back and look towards Boz and the rest of the group, and I will just sort of go, puzzled look over. He's shrugging. I'm not certain it's here, but I'm going to go investigate. Don't worry, I'll be right back.
I come with.
Sure.
I'll come peek around.
All right.
Not
So
going
as
in.
you guys-
Not going in there.
So yeah, so just everyone's peeking around the corner of the door.
Do. Yeah, Three Stooges heads. So Sanguinary, you take a couple steps into the dark. Boz, you're following. Kind of your vibro blade still crackling, still on.
I'll turn it off as I come in. To the room.
And I'll-
As you come in.
And as I enter, I'll fold up my Jiboka
Okay.
and sort of hang it on my side.
You guys take a couple of steps. You take a step, then another step. Something feels wrong. You don't hear anything. You sort of look around, even in the corners, you don't see anything. And then, kind of just right between the two of you, this globule of sort of saliva. And as you both look up, you see that moving along the ceiling in an unnatural way, as if adhering to the ceiling, is this massive rancor. Kind of this lizard walking, but on its back, looking down at you all. And now that you are both below, it opens its mighty jaws. I actually would like for both Sanguinary and Boz to make a look roll.
Oh, it's new.
Regular success.
Regular success.
Same.
I'm gonna say a regular success, enough light between the door and stuff. As it falls out of the shadow of this high, super high ceiling, this rancor falling. As it falls down in sort of the silhouette of it, these massive jaws opening, preparing up, you see these two tendrils shooting out of each side of its face. These sharp tendrils with all these fangs on them. And as it falls on you and Boz and Lyala, your eyes go amber. That is where we'll end tonight's session.
Ah!
What?
So I'm just gonna mention that raise your hand if you here tonight asked me for a vampire rancor.
Look, I'm not gonna say I asked. I said the words vampire rancor out loud. I did not request it.
Bitch.
And yet, this is so much worse. This is so much worse than I imagined.
It's a Star Wars vampire. We'll get sort of to one implication of what that means at some point. But some super diehard Star Wars fans, especially of Legends continuity, might understand what this is a rancor plus something. As it falls down, preparing to just devour. That is where we'll end. Hopefully Doom can get you out of this. But yeah, great session, everyone. So I gotta say, we're kind of a pretty huge thing in this game has happened in a permanent way. Lauke is back in his body.
Back.
Sanguinary is without someone in his body, but the group is stuck aboard the Blessed Constellation Cathedral ship. Bouncing
It's good to,
in space. And
it's good to be back home.
having now got Lauke into a body, snuck around. They know they're in a race. They decided, let's find a rancor, which is a good idea. And boy, have they found a rancor. Because it can walk on the ceiling like a vampire. Thank you, everyone, so much for watching.
That is so upsetting, Philip.
If you enjoy what we're doing here, check us out tomorrow night, because it will pick up right where we left off. And I will actually sort of just say aloud, if you can't make it, I hadn't confirmed. So Kevin, you're welcome to join tomorrow, as Lauke will be here, separately. If you can't make it, no problem. We'll talk off street, whatever. But you're sort of totally, basically, Lauke and Lauke and Sanguinary are now invited to all subsequent sessions of either game because they're both there.
Okay.
We're. I don't know when this will end. I decided not to give this one a hard end. We're definitely towards the end game. How many bodies can we split up? How many players will this end with?
I feel like we we'd all just be eaten tomorrow, so it could end tomorrow.
I might have just ended, actually.
Tomorrow is Crude Matter, session 10. Pick up where we left off, more Star Wars fun. On Tuesday, oh no. Guys, gotta tell you, I figured it out today. I have not emailed the players yet all of their details and sordid secrets and whether or not any of them are murderers. Murder by Murder, Chapter 1 begins on Tuesday. I'm worried the mystery I've come up with is too complicated. Do I care? I don't care. I'm down with it.
You know we're stupid, right? Like,
It was you, Jeremy. You did it.
He might have. Don't, spoiler alert.
it's possible.
He might have. No, there's some fun. I kind of cooked up some. It's really embarrassing that when I'm doing prep for this, I'm literally reading about like laws in England in like the 1920s. Be like, oh, perfect, and getting as excited about that as I was about Vampire Rancor, because I contain multitudes. Then on Friday, so that's Murder by Murder. That's on Tuesday. Our Agatha Christie game. It's our first session. It's gonna be really fun. We had a very fun session 0. We put it together and then had some weird role play at at like a drive-through that was unrelated but fun during our session 0. So yeah, check us out for session 1
really
of that.
good.
It's gonna be really interesting. It's like a system I just built. It's super simple. It's gonna be a lot of RP and no magic, no nonsense. Although there might be some Easter eggs in there for longtime RPG fans. What? Then, on Friday, this past Friday, things went out of control. We had kind of an unscheduled solo session because of some last-minute availability stuff.
It wasn't my fault!
No, it was great. I cannot tell you what will happen. I know that this past Friday, we had a horror surge, and the gimmick of this horror surge was rather than 13 monsters, a player killed 13 non-combatants. Horror. Yeah.
That sounds like a real Sarah Quill move, from what I understand.
Yeah, that was a real Sarah move. She
What? No.
drank everyone. That was super fun stuff. So yeah, please join us on Friday. I don't know what Friday will be yet. Could be Rocket Base 95. Could be Heisteles following Dahlia. It could be following Sarah Quill some more. I think it'll be one of those three things. I don't think it would be anything else, but it could be. That game is a mosaic. Anything can happen. We got 13 different Dreadlands to look at. We've only seen 4. The story's just getting started. We've been kind of off of that for a while, but we're going back into that with a vengeance. So yes, please come and join us for that. If you like what we do here, please subscribe if you can, follow if you can't, because you can follow even if you don't, etc.
Either way.
Follow either way. Understood. Good way to phrase that. Go to our About page to find out all of the wonderful things our various players do. Go to our Discord, because we're very active on Discord.
Now.
You can go over now. I need to talk to these players off stream for a while.
No, now we're very we have always been very active. I'm sorry.
No, we're more active on Discord. Check on Discord soon. We will let you know if we're going to do the Dreadlands tonight. I don't know if everyone's able to, and I need to talk to these players off stream about some sort of stuff. But we might be over there in the Dreadlands because we sometimes are doing that post our games now, but that's not an every time thing. But I'm going to leave with one. I'm wearing a Starlight Beacon shirt. This is from the High Republic. I'm into it. 2, this week I finished reading Shadow of the Sith, the newest book. It didn't make me love everything about Rise of Skywalker. That probably wasn't possible. But it was very fun, and I especially encourage people who like sort of miss like 90s Star Wars books about Luke after the movies, like just being a Jedi and doing cool stuff, and like Jedi Academy or Black Fleet Crisis books and stuff. Like it's like a
I don't think it's too much to just say what like the basic premise is.
The premise of it is, and it's filling in a specific thing. It is Luke and Lando on a mission to like find Ochi of Bestoon, who's the Sith assassin referred to in Rise of Skywalker, and he's a huge part of the Darth Vader comics and now Crimson Reign and stuff. And Ochi of Bestoon is a much more fun character alive than as a corpse in a thing. So definitely
most characters
tends to be. Yes, please.
Except these ones. Actually.
Yeah, these ones were actually pretty both alive or dead, they're fun. Yes, go ahead.
Also, if you like fun facts about D&D in general, or Star Wars, or anything pertaining to this channel, we are starting to post informational TikToks, which are then reposted on Instagram, but follow us on TikTok. And you will learn a lot, and you can always ask questions in the comments or here in the chat, but follow our TikTok, because we're trying to be able to have Philip
live on TikTok or something. I still don't quite understand what it means, but
talk.
It's important. So far, Lauren has talked to you all about Vecna. She's talked to you about the West End Games D6 system.
Yeah, she did,
which was fun. And I don't want to tell tales out of school here, Lauren, but I'm pretty sure you're about to talk to people about the Wizards of the Coast 2000 game, then about Saga Edition, then a little bit about Fantasy Flight RPGs.
Apparently I am. Stay tuned.
Yeah. I know all your research and your expertise on that, but I don't know if you've read the specific research that you've done on those games.
We'll talk about it. And yes, the TikTok dance will be coming.
Lauren, don't. I need you to know, but what I need you to do.
Somebody mentioned it in the chat.
I understand. That's fine. What I'm saying is I need you to not say promise. I need you to not promise that there will be a TikTok dance.
I didn't give a time
You
limit.
just said I promise.
It's coming.
It's not a promise, it's a threat, Philip.
We're working on a TikTok dance.
And it is coming. Eventually, it might be in a week, it might be in a year, it might be in 10 years. Who knows? But it will.
If it's in 10 years, that's a bad thing.
Yeah, we'll finally do it when we're doing the reunion podcast where we're watching these episodes again and doing commentary as podcasts.
Well, on that fun note, thank you all so much for this. I would hopefully we get the TikTok dance to you. Yeah, I have faith in us, but we do have a lot of fun stuff going on, so we'll get you what we can when we can, and we do have to explain games to you all. So yeah, well, thank you all so much for all of this. We will see you next time, whether that's 1 week from tonight or tomorrow or in one of our other games, etc., etc. We appreciate everybody out there so much. Thank you for being here. Until next time, the Force will be with you. always.